We are back on Get Up, and last night marked the return of Giannis Antetokounmpo for the Bucks hosting the Celtics. He last played on January 23rd, 15 games ago. Boston playing without Jaylen Brown. Show you a little bit of Giannis here. Looks to be getting up and down the floor well. He had that calf injury midway through the first quarter. He's still in the game. Giannis in the post. Giannis would sub out after playing the first 6 minutes of the ball game, and then the Celtics would just take over completely with Giannis on the bench. In the second quarter, Boston is up by 10, and we got a loose ball, and now we're going the other way. And we got Derek White, and then we got Peyton Pritchard. He had 25 points in this game. Celtics open up a 12-point lead. Giannis back in the ball game. His team is down 18 points. He's still got the power at the flush on the left hand. He was 7 of 18 from the floor on the night. A couple of minutes later, it's Pritchard. It's White on the wing for 3, and it's good. White would score 18. The Celtics with a 14-point halftime lead. Early third quarter, the lead is a dozen. Here's Giannis again. He would play 25 minutes, 19 points, 11 rebounds. But his team would never really be in it. Late in the third, Celtics up 14 points. That's Ron Harper Jr. Boston took 50 threes in this game, made 20 of them. Celtics go on to win huge. And I want to talk about both sides of this equation. We got Big Perk and Monica up with us early. First things first. Perk, what do we say about Giannis coming back? A lot of people thought maybe he'd shut it down. Maybe they would want to shut it down. He comes out and plays. His team gets blown out. They're 3.5 games out of the last play-in spot in the East. What do we say about Giannis this morning?
Well, Granny, first of all, good to see you. Second of all, it's always great to see Giannis on the floor. But third of all, the Bucks have shown us that we can't take them to the buffet because all they go do is continue to order salad. No one cares because they don't even know the direction that they're going in right now. Yes, Giannis on the floor, he's always going to be dominant. But let's be honest, this roster that they have around Giannis is not going to do anything. They're not going to make any real noise. Could they slide into the play-in tournament? Possibly so. I don't see them getting in for the simple fact when you look at the teams that are fighting in the play-in tournament, the bottom half of that for the playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, those teams are starting to thrive, and those teams are building and actually trying to go win and establish themselves, and I like them better. The Hornets, the Hawks, the Heat, like all of those teams are going to continue to stay in those spots. Right now, it's just about Giannis and his love for the game. That's why he's there. So take these next 24 games and just appreciate him being available for the fan base around the NBA.
And then wonder what happens from there. Monica, Giannis, your thoughts?
Why would you come back was my thought, especially if you're going to leave this organization. Now, perhaps, and everything we've heard in the course of the trade deadline and all the noise was that Giannis is very mindful of his legacy. So, yes, I agree with Perk. He loves the game. He relishes in the opportunity to play. Perhaps there is more of a relationship there in terms of showing what he's still capable of doing, although everybody knows who Giannis Antetokounmpo is in the league. And maybe the Bucks will try to fix this roster in this offseason to convince him to stay. But we all know that he's the kingpin that the Lakers, whoever else, everybody's going to be looking at this summer.
Okay, so that's the Milwaukee side of this. I want to talk to you about the Boston side of it. They won their 41st game last night of the season. That's significant because their preseason win total at DraftKings Sportsbook was 40.5. That's what the world expected them to be without Jason Tatum. You know who didn't expect that? Was Jaylen Brown, which is the reason, Big Perk, I'm on here saying and fighting anyone who will listen to me that Jaylen Brown is the MVP of the league this year. What do you say?
We're going to fight him together, Greeny. He's the best two-way player in the game right now. He's the only player in the league that's top 5 in offense because he's top in the league, top 5 in scoring, and he's top 5 defensively when it comes to opponent field goal percentage. And when you look at this Celtics squad, they are the most dangerous team in the NBA. Why do I say that? Number one, they have the most championship experience, in the Eastern Conference. Number two, they also have a coach in Coach Mazzulla who's up for Coach of the Year. They're playing with house money. It's no expectations with this team. And so when you think about what they have with no expectations, appending Jason Tatum mixed with Jaylen Brown, a duo that has shown that they could get it done at the highest level. That's why I say that they're the most dangerous team. They have zero expectations.
Let me show you the odds, because they flipped yesterday, and I'm not sure exactly what to make of this, but all of a sudden yesterday at DraftKings, the Celtics became the favorites to win the East, which makes one wonder about the status of Jason Tatum. So I'll ask you, Monica, a two-part question. With Jason Tatum, are the Celtics the team to beat in the East? And without Jason Tatum, are the Celtics the team to beat in the East?
Emphatically, Greeny, I got to go yes. And I'm just going to lean on the standings, but the Celtics are the second team in the East, so you got to get through them. Right now, obviously, the Pistons are sitting still atop of the Eastern Conference, but what I love about this group, and the only part that I disagree with on Perk, is that I do think they have real expectations now, and that's just because of who they are. But I just love the hierarchy, the understanding. Jaylen Brown has been able to thrive because everybody around him understands that this is our guy that we have to go through. And so when you talk about championship experience and championship culture and being able to navigate adversity, this team has done it. They've been to the mountaintop. And so, yes, I do think this team is incredibly dangerous coming out of the Eastern Conference. And I don't buy that the Jason Tatum thing is going to throw it off. I don't think he would come back if he felt in any way he would be a deficit to this squad.
Me neither. Big Perk, help me. I've got people on here telling me the Celtics, they can't have Jason Tatum come back. They won't be able to figure out how to use him. What's the last time a top 10 player in the league was going to derail a team's championship chances? Help me with this.
Let me ask you a question. Did they system change or something? Because last night, didn't they take 50-plus three-point shots?
Yes.
They still play the same way. They still have that AAU style 5 out, 1 in, or no, 5 out, excuse me, and you just run isolation ball and you play fast, and they spread the floor. Jason Tatum is going to be just fine. He's going to fit right into their system. By the way, I love their front court. With Vucevic coming in off the bench, I love the big fella that they have anchored in the middle down there. So again, Jason Tatum comes back. The rest of the league know it's going to be scary.
Monica, 30 seconds. Finish.
I just think that when we look at the Eastern Conference, those top 4 teams, with Cleveland and the Knicks sort of being inconsistent, if you will, Cleveland is finding its way. They've been more consistent than the Knicks. The experience could be the differentiating factor, and the Boston Celtics are the team that have that in spades.
And they've got the MVP of the league, as far as I'm concerned.
On SportsCenter to talk about the return of Giannis. Perk, good morning. Milwaukee, 3.5 games back of a play-in spot right now. Do they legitimately have a chance come playoff time if they make it into the tournament with Giannis back?
Well, first of all, good morning. Second of all, it's great to always see Giannis back on the floor. Third of all, hell no, they don't have a legit chance at nothing. I mean, you know, we don't never want to take Giannis for granted for him being on the floor because he never disappoints. But when you think about this roster that they don't have a chance. And you think about the bottom half of this East that's in the play-in tournament, those teams are starting to stride, and those young teams are playing for something. When you think about where the Bucks are right now, they just don't have the pieces. And yes, even in the Eastern Conference that's not compared to the West, you would think a Giannis-led team would have a legitimate shot, but the East has gotten better all across the board, and so Giannis is just out there playing because of the love of the game. He knows that this team is not good enough to be a legitimate threat or make any type of run in the postseason.
All right, maybe the answer is a little different for the team that beat them last night, Perk. Celtics look impressive. No JB last night. No JT all season, but Jason Tatum, possibly the return is looming. What is the ceiling for Boston, Perk, once they get all their guys back?
Well, they're the most dangerous team in the NBA. I mean, to me, their ceiling is making it to the promised land and getting to the NBA Finals. Jaylen Brown has looked like the best two-way player in the game. You talking about getting a Jason Tatum back that's going to fit right in with that offense, just needs to be healthy and look healthy. But they have the most championship experience out of anybody in the Eastern Conference. When you talk about some of their core pieces, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Derek White, those guys are champions. They know how to win. They know how to play in big moments. That team has an identity that's led by their coach, Joe Mazzulla, who's up there with J.B. Bickerstaff, in my opinion, for Coach of the Year. So when you think about the Celtics, they're playing with house money. They're the most dangerous team in the NBA.
Top of the Eastern Conference is stacked. Certainly the Celtics are up there. So, too, are the Pistons and the Cavs, Perk, who play tonight. Spider Mitch, he's listed as out, but what are you looking forward to in this game between the Pistons and the Cavs?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how are the bigs going to respond to the physicality of a Jalen Duren. And I'm talking about Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, right? Those are the two guys that are going to actually get the Cavs over the hump if the Cavs are trying to accomplish their goal. And we know one thing about the Detroit Pistons, they're going to always bring their identity, and that is being the most physical team in the NBA. And so I always look at their front court. Are they going to be able to match the physicality of a Jalen Duren? And that's what I'm looking at more than anything in tonight's matchup.
All right, Spider Mitch, you said out.
Come on.
Possibly James Harden back. That is Big Perk with us on SportsCenter AM. Thank you, sir.
Fired up, got our top play.